vast expanse of the northern region of the African continent, which now lies beneath the barren stretches of the Sahara Desert, once teemed with vibrant life. In ages past, it was a lush tropical savanna, adorned with expansive greenery and sprawling pastures that played host to roaming herds of antelopes and various hoofed creatures, all amid the thrilling pursuits of lions and cheetahs. Yet, as the sands of time unfurled, the 10th millennium BC ushered in a pivotal shift as the climate began its inexorable transformation, veering towards an ever more scorching and arid demeanor. The once verdant vegetation withered, and the once lush pastures succumbed to the encroaching tide of sand dunes, obscured beneath their relentless advance. During this epoch, local tribes had already attained mastery in the art of cattle husbandry, initiating a nomadic pastoralist lifestyle centered around the herding of goats and cows, with sheep domestication following shortly thereafter in the 8th millennium BC. These herds of domesticated animals, while sustaining themselves through grazing, unwittingly contributed to the degradation of the grass cover. Compounded by recurrent droughts, the savanna found itself unable to rejuvenate, gradually metamorphosing into desolate expanses that failed to provide adequate sustenance for the burgeoning livestock populations. Faced with this grim reality, the tribes were compelled to forsake their ancestral homelands, embarking on arduous journeys in quest of more fertile territories. Among the welcoming havens for these settlers lay the expansive Nile River Valley, snaking its course through northeastern Africa. Spanning vast swaths of land, the Nile perpetually disgorges copious volumes of water into the awaiting embrace of the Mediterranean Sea. Despite traversing through the heart of the desert in its lower reaches, the Nile remains an unwavering lifeline, impervious to the hottest of years, ensuring the preservation of extensive pastures and fecund lowlands along its banks, ripe for agricultural endeavors. Various tribes hailing from the plains of North Africa found solace in the nurturing embrace of the Nile Delta, with the earliest settlements tracing back to the 6th millennium BC. At that epoch, the populace along the lower Nile comprised a tapestry of diverse ethnicities, encompassing representatives from Caucasoid and Negroid races, whose intermingling over time birthed the distinctive tapestry of ancient Egyptian culture, distinct from its contemporaries across the Middle East. Constrained by the limits of their habitat, these settlers were spurred to innovate in the realms of animal husbandry and agriculture, striving to cultivate more prolific breeds of livestock and diverse varieties of grain crops. As settlements burgeoned, clustering in areas conducive to farming and proximate to year-round grazing pastures, the agrarian landscape underwent a profound metamorphosis. The cyclical fluctuations in the Nile's water level proved to be a boon for farming endeavors. With the advent of the early summer rainy season in East Africa, the Nile's sources witnessed a surge, causing the river's waters to swell and inundate vast tracts of land. Subsequently, as the waters receded, they left behind a nutrient-rich veneer of river silt, bestowing upon the inundated lands an annual gift of natural fertilization. To harness the capricious flow of the river for the irrigation of their lands, ingenious farmers engineered earthen-banked reservoirs, which captured and stored water post-floods. These reservoirs served a dual purpose: averting inundation of cultivated fields during flood events and facilitating controlled irrigation when needed. The management of these water control structures necessitated concerted communal efforts and effective organizational prowess, fostering a sense of collective endeavor among the populace. The locales housing the custodians of these water management systems evolved into vibrant hubs of trade and political discourse. Within these burgeoning centers, bustling markets and solemn religious ceremonies intertwined, catalyzing the emergence of the first urban settlements along the lower reaches of the Nile River. In antiquity, the Greeks, intrigued by the intricate societal structures of Egypt, coined the term nom to denote the administrative regions under the authority of specific cities, with their leaders being titled nomarchs. While these designations have permeated historical discourse, it's worth noting that the Egyptians themselves referred to these territories as septs. Nomarchs wielded significant authority, issuing directives regarding agricultural endeavors, overseeing the construction and maintenance of reservoirs, and managing the storage of harvested goods within the city's granaries. In the communal ethos of ancient Egypt, private ownership of land and produce was non-existent. Instead, produce was pooled in communal kitchens, where it was skillfully prepared into an array of culinary delights like stews, porridges, and beer. The nomarch appointed a designated official to oversee these communal kitchens, ensuring the equitable distribution of sustenance among the populace, while also serving as a judicial authority. Along the fertile banks of the Nile River, dozens of nomes and nomarchs flourished, their existence often punctuated by conflicts and rivalries, as territorial disputes were a recurrent feature. Nomarchs, driven by aspirations of expansion, frequently sought to extend their dominions by subjugating neighboring lands. By the culmination of the 4th millennium BC, a pivotal moment unfolded as all nomes were amalgamated under the suzerainty of the preeminent city situated in the Nile Delta, initially known as Haikupta, signifying House of the Soul of the Creator God. This appellation was transliterated by the ancient Greeks to Aegyptos, thus bestowing the name upon the entire land. Conversely, the ancient Egyptians themselves referred to their homeland as Kemet, meaning black earth, a nod to the fertile soils lining the Nile's banks. Subsequently, the city of Kikupta underwent a nomenclatural transformation, adopting the moniker Memphis, a name that etched itself into the annals of history. Following the consolidation of Egypt, the ancient royal period dawned around the nucleus of Memphis, spanning the majority of the 3rd millennium BC. It was during this epoch that the authority of the ruler of Memphis burgeoned into absolutism. Bestowed with the ancient Egyptian title Per-O, signifying great house, this sovereign came to be revered as the pharaoh. For the Egyptians, the pharaoh personified the divine essence of Horus, depicted as a falcon-headed deity, with belief dictating that the pharaoh's essence endured through successive generations, akin to a perpetual cycle of rebirth. The pharaoh wielded unchecked authority over all subjects, enlisting them in monumental public works projects, such as the construction of temples and colossal pyramidal tombs. Despite the tumult of wars, external incursions, and internal uprisings, this system of governance endured until the advent of the 1st century BC, when Egypt succumbed to the dominion of Rome. That, my fellow history buffs, concludes today's journey into the past. If you enjoyed diving into the depths of history with us, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories from the past. Your support fuels our passion for uncovering the mysteries of bygone eras. Until next time, keep exploring, learning, and bringing history to life. Thanks for watching.